The following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
One night, this incredible ride that Pacquiao's taken us all on, this devastating unbeaten streak, will come to an end. Can Tim Bradley make tonight that night?
I'm very confident that I can beat this guy.
We're gonna win this fight, man. You got this.
Every time Pacquiao would do something, I would do something right back. Felt like at the end of the 12th round, we won the fight.
And new WBO welterweight champion of the world.
As soon as I got home, that's when things just started going downhill. We would get mail, we'll open it up, and you know, there was death threats. You know, that was a hard thing to live with. I think possibly if I would have lost, I think I would have been better off. Winning the fight actually hurt my career. I moved on, I'm getting a fresh start. I'm gonna prove to all the doubters that I belong at the top. And that's why I'm here today, and that's the reason why I'm fighting Ruslan Provodnikov, a tough fighter who's looking to take my championship. I'm not gonna let that happen. I want my respect. I want my respect.
Tonight, HBO Boxing rolls into Southern California for an outdoor stop at the Home Depot Center in Carson, about 13 miles south of downtown Los Angeles. We have a welterweight doubleheader coming your way, starring title holder Timothy Bradley in his first ring appearance since dethroning Manny Pacquiao in that controversial decision last June. Bradley's opponent, Ruslan Provodnikov, is trained by Pacquiao trainer Freddie Roach and served as one of Pacquiao's chief sparring partners for the Bradley fight. A 4-1 underdog, Provodnikov comes off the longest layoff of his career as he seeks to claim his first world title belt. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley, soon to be joined at ringside by Max Kellerman and Roy Jones, welcoming you to this HBO World Championship Boxing doubleheader. Both fights in the welterweight division, and in the main event, later to come along, Tim Bradley begins what he calls his quest for respect after 9 months of purgatory following the controversial decision which gave him the belt previously held by Manny Pacquiao. Bradley has been extremely open with media and with everyone around the fight scene here, talking about how difficult these last 9 months have been and how much it weighs on his mind as he prepares for tonight's assignment against Ruslan Provodnikov. But before we see that, a fascinating style matchup as Jessie Vargas, a pure boxer with an excellent jab, takes on Wale Omotoso, originally from Nigeria, then he went to Australia, ultimately came here to the United States, showed up in the wild card gym where he often spars with larger fighters. If Vargas is a pure boxer, Omotoso is a pure fighter, and he can be expected to try to get inside and turn this into a war against Vargas in the first of our two fights. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Jessie Vargas and Wale Omotoso, and you'll see that there is a 4-year age advantage for young Vargas, who's still only 23. Half-inch height advantage for Omotoso. Arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, 1 inch for Omotoso. They both weighed in under the 147-pound limit, and you can see that Wale Omotoso overnight has rehydrated up to 164 pounds and will carry into the ring a functional 10-pound weight advantage against Vargas. That'll mean a lot if Omotoso is able to get to Vargas's ribcage as he wants to do. Jessie Vargas first stepped into a boxing gym with his dad when he was 8. Following a standout junior amateur career, he turned pro at age 19, but still has not uprooted from his family.
I was born in Los Angeles, California. Our family moved out to Las Vegas when I was about 6 years old, so I was basically raised in Las Vegas. I guess you could say I ran into some trouble in school, and I would get picked on every now and then. And of course, I would defend myself. I had a temper, and I would, get mad quickly. And my father wanted me to get involved into a sport just to keep me busy. And you know what? The first day he took me to a boxing gym, I really just fall in love with the sport. I just love the idea of just being one-on-one with whoever's in front of you in the ring. I admire my parents very much. They've never left my side. I live with my parents. I have no problem with them. I'm 23 years old. They actually help me out a lot in training camps. My mom, it's like my personal chef, to tell you the truth. And my dad, is anything I need, he's there. He makes everything so much easier. All I have to worry about is just train 100%, and they handle the rest, basically.
Like Oscar De La Hoya a decade ago, Vargas struggles a bit to gain enthusiasm from Mexican and Mexican-American fight fans in Southern California who'd like him to be a little bit more of a warrior and less of a pure boxer. But poetically, he's trained by the man you see right there, Robert Alcazar, who was De La Hoya's trainer through the long period when De La Hoya was attempting to achieve that same kind of crossover in the eyes of Mexican and Mexican-American fans here. So if anybody can talk to Vargas about that particular passage, it's the man who is in his corner. Now here's a look at Wale Omotoso, undefeated with 19 knockouts and 23 pro fights. But the brutality of boxing pales in comparison, he says, to his upbringing on the streets of Lagos, Nigeria.
I was born in Lagos, which is the former capital of Nigeria. Let me put it this way, where I'm from is, I will put it like, let me say, you're from South Central. No one want to go to South Central. If you don't have family there or friends there, anything can happen in a split second. Fight, violent everywhere. When I grew up with that lifestyle, I just think that's what it is. We just take it like, if anything happened to you, it's meant to be. So if you get shot or you die or something happen, it's meant to be. I've been in many violent fights that can take my life in split second. They put gun onto my head. I don't give up. I fight, I escape it, everything, I get up. I just get some, stab in my body with weapon, I didn't get shot. There's a purpose. There is a reason why. Then I just say, I'm a lucky boy. That's how, since then I start calling myself Lucky Boy.
Omotoso was originally spotted in Australia by the legendary talent scout Samson Lukowitz, discoverer of fighters like Manny Pacquiao and Sergio Martinez. He came here to Southern California originally headed toward another trainer, another gym, an entirely different situation, but on his first day here, dropped into the Wild Card gym, met Freddie Roach, and has been there ever since. Quite frequently in that gym, he spars with larger fighters, such as Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a middleweight who often verges onto super middleweight size, and Vanes Martirosyan, a 154-pounder. So here he is in the welterweight division, but having gone up overnight to 164, unofficially outweighing Vargas by 10 pounds. I'm joined at ringside by Max Kellerman and Roy Jones. You'll hear from them momentarily. Right now, let's go to ring announcer Lupe Contreras for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Home Depot Center, Carson, California, for another edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing, proudly being brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with La Cerveza Tecate con Carácter. Tonight's bouts are being sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Chairman is John Frierson. Executive Officer, Andy Foster. This is our co-featured bout of the evening, a clash of undefeated fighters, set for a maximum of 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Continental Americas Welterweight Championship. Supervising for the WBC, Craig Hubble. The judges assigned to this bout are Gwen Adair, Jonathan Davis, and Fritz Werner. The referee, Jack Reese. Introducing first, Fighting out of the red corner, he steps in wearing silver trunks with black and white trim. When he stepped on the scale, he weighed in at an official 146 3/4 pounds. And he enters the ring, an undefeated fighter with 23 victories against 19 KOs, with one of his victories as a no contest. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Lagos, Nigeria, by way of his adopted homeland of Australia, and now fighting out of the famed Wild Card Gym, Hollywood, California, Wale Lucky Boy Omotoso. Standing across the ring in the blue corner, he steps in wearing tan with black and white trim. He weighed in officially at 146 1/2 pounds. And he too is undefeated at a pro level with 21 victories. 9 of those victories coming by way of knockout. Representing Las Vegas, Nevada, Jessie Vargas.
Hi. Everybody's trunks are good. You got a mouthpiece? Mouthpiece? I gave your instructions in the dressing room. I just want to remind both of you, listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, but fight clean. Good luck to both of you. Got you, Fritz.
Jessie Vargas is a slight favorite here, last I checked, because of the perception that he has more refined technique. But Lucky Boy was not long ago considered by some maybe the most talented prospect in the world. They're looking to break out here tonight. Maybe one of these guys can.
Roy Jones, it looks to me like this could either be a craft mismatch in the favor of Vargas or a physical mismatch in the favor of the much larger and apparently considerably stronger Lucky Boy.
Well, the problem here, Jim, I think, is that if Lucky Boy can lure Vargas into a one-on-one, mano-to-mano type of a fight, he can use that size advantage. If not, if Vargas can stay constant to what he wants to do in box, then his boxing skills will prevail.
I mentioned the conflict that Vargas' style presents for Mexican and Mexican-American fans who like something rougher. He had a fight exactly 1.5 years ago on the undercard of a big pay-per-view in Las Vegas against Josecito Lopez. Lopez made his name off the fight, even though Vargas won it by split decision. And of course, a lot of fans preferred Lopez in the fight because he's a little wilder and he threw harder. And Vargas was sticking to his craft. Here's Lucky Boy trying to taste the trying to get at him with the left hook, make him taste it.
Speaking of throwing harder, Vargas is throwing some serious straight shots, including the jab, Roy. Harder than I'm used to seeing him throw this early in the fight.
Yeah, he said he worked on his strength for this fight and his punching power, but that also may come to hurt him because he's fighting a much bigger guy here, and he should use his boxing skills, not his power, to beat a guy like Lucky Boy.
2 good body shots by Vargas, one with the left and one with the right. Lucky Boy came over the top and pounded Vargas on the skull with a right hand. That's the same right hand. Lucky Boy just misses this time. Vargas paints him with a right straight up the middle.
Mentioned Samson Lefkowitz earlier, Jim. He brought Manny Pacquiao over to this country, Sergio Martinez. When he says this guy's the best or the most talented prospect I've seen in the world right now, which he said about Lucky Boy not long ago, that means something to me.
People listen.
But there's a sense in boxing that Lucky Boy has not progressed, that he's still the same raw guy who came over here.
Well, there's a sense that he's not a responsible defender. He's been down a couple of times in his 5 fights here in the United States, and already you've seen that Vargas is able to make consistent contact with his punches here tonight. But there's Lucky Boy across the top with a right hand that momentarily wobbled Vargas's front foot.
Yeah, and I have to give Lucky Boy credit because Lucky Boy is almost like Max says about the South African fighters. He survived and made a name in the wild card gym. That's where I first heard about him from, so he had to be doing something to get noticed like that in that big of a gym.
Not to mention in the streets of a third world country.
Exactly.
A tough guy.
Very active first round. If I had to say anything at all about the style, I think they were fighting a little bit more Lucky Boy's fight than Vargas's.
Jessie, sigue trabajando, nomás se metió una vez. Lo dejaste que brincara una vez. Ok, nomás ocúpalo. Tú primero. Así. Una vez nomás te alcanzó a brincar, ¿te acuerdas? Ya. Una vez brincó nada más. Ok, no lo dejes que haga eso. Manténlo de afuera y ocúpalo.
That's just what we need, you understand? Now he's going to try to get some of that back because that's a great round for you, okay? I want you to be defensively responsible, and I want you to keep working that head and body. You understand? When you go in that body, make sure your defense is tight. You got me, son? All right? Let's go, baby. Keep putting the pressure on this guy.
Very interesting first round. CompuBox saw Vargas landing 24 of 55. That's a high accuracy rate. He landed both the jab, 13 out of 33, and his power shots as well. Omotoso was only 10 of 45, but landed the harder shots, those two right hands you saw across the top, and Harold Letterman scored the round for Omotoso.
See Vargas here trying to get loose, looking like he's trying to roll his shoulders.
Another big right hand by Omotoso.
But Omotoso's doing the punching here.
Yes, like Jim said, the fight seems to be Omotoso's type of a fight right now, which is not good for Vargas, especially being that Omotoso is 10 pounds heavier. Also, you saw there on the screen, they said train like Freddie Roach, but Eric Brown is the one who's actually in the corner right now.
Great point, Roy. Looks as though Freddie is staying in the training or in the dressing room with Ruslan Probodnikov, who's in the main event, and Eric Brown, who does a great deal of work in the gym with all the top fighters, is the man who's running the corner for Omotoso tonight.
And that's exactly how they did the fighter meeting as well.
Eric's a respected trainer and obviously training in Freddie's gym. Doing a lot of the work in that gym means something.
Vargas just landed a good, crisp left hook, but had no effect on Omotoso.
Omotoso with a hard right hand to the body. Vargas fires a combination. Can't get Omotoso off of him. Now Lucky Boy backs up. Vargas, let's see if he'll step back and set up the jab again.
Vargas doing a good job using his leverage there to push Omotoso back.
It looks almost as though Vargas is working a little too hard for a 12-round fight.
They are trading shots and making solid contact. Vargas landed a perfect right cross. Omotoso came back with a right of his own.
And Vargas has been hurt twice.
And this is going to be called a knockdown by Jack Reese as Vargas went down on a body shot.
6, 7, 8. You right? Come here, give me your gloves.
First time on the canvas ever in his career for young Jessie Vargas. He enters with a record of 21-0, but only 9 KOs.
It shows you something about Omotoso that he's able to catch Vargas in exchanges. Usually when a raw fighter goes up against a sharpshooter, in those exchanges he's tagged, and here we see Omotoso landing clean shots in the middle of the ring in those exchanges.
Yeah, but he spent 3 years in wild card, Max. After 3 years in there with that caliber of fighters, he has to have learned something.
Yep. And a good amateur background.
And now Vargas teeing off a little bit.
Vargas fighting back with spirit, but he's found himself in a gunfight here. And this is not the kind of fight, I would think, that Jessie Vargas and Robert Alcazar wanted.
Not at all.
Fighting fire with fire. Let's see if it's too much fire. Make sure you stay tuned following Live Boxing for the premiere of Road to Rios Alvarado 2. And don't forget, those two warriors meet in the ring again on March 30. Their fight last year in October was the leader in the clubhouse for Fight of the Year until Manny Pacquiao entered the ring against Juan Manuel Marquez in December.
Very good, Lucky Boy. Now listen, you know what you can do. You can hurt this kid, right? But you got to be smart. Don't get reckless. You understand me?
I don't mind you going after him, but don't get reckless, son. You understand me? When you go back after him, want to behind that double jab.
Here see on his knockdown, the punch didn't even make contact except on the outside of the arm, but somehow he either lost his balance or he anticipated a good body shot.
He was shook up, I think, from a headshot not long before then.
I think he was too.
So call it a fall down rather than a knockdown. At least that's the way it looked on the replay, but nevertheless, it counts the same. And Vargas finds himself, at least on Harold Letterman's scorecard, down by 3 points now at 20-17. We enter the third round.
Of a good fight so far. Two undefeated prospects fighting like they want to hold on to their O's.
They both threw 64 punches in that second round. Vargas landed 28. Omotoso landed 22, but his punches are heavier.
Much heavier. Not to mention that he's 10 pounds heavier. The only thing I don't like about what Jessie is doing, now he's doing it a little better. He wasn't showing any head movement. He needs to show head movement so he doesn't be a steel target for a hard punching Omotoso.
Looks as though Jessie wants to change the tempo of the fight, Roy.
He does. He should want to, because if he can use his jab, then it makes it better for him.
I think he came out early in this fight wanting to establish himself and not just start moving from Lucky Boy immediately. So he tried to sit down on his punches a little, and it may have backfired a bit because it didn't quite get Lucky Boy's respect to the extent that Vargas may have liked.
Well, it did, because now Lucky Boy is not really just coming at him all out like he was earlier. Now he's boxing and staying outside. So this is the fight Vargas wants. So maybe it did get Lucky Boy's attention enough to slow him down.
Lose the battles, win the war.
That's exactly right.
For the moment, Lucky Boy seems content to enter into a boxing match, at least for this round, with Jessie Vargas. Now here he comes in, trying to penetrate once again.
Eric in the corner told Lucky Boy, keep going at him, but don't get wild. Come in behind the double jab. He wanted to, it seems, to settle Lucky Boy down a little, but Lucky Boy's having his best moments when he's unsettled.
Yep, and when he's attacking over Vargas's jab.
Talk about Eric Brown working under the shadow of Freddie Roach at the Wild Card Gym. Reminds me a lot of Danny Davis, who works with Nassim Richardson on the East Coast. Another guy who could himself be a top flight trainer if he steps out of the shadow of the man with whom he works. Right hand by Omotoso, eye-catching. Another right hand by Omotoso. And now there's blood outside the left eye of Jessie Vargas.
Lucky Boy's right hand, Roy, not always short, but straight.
Very long and very straight, but the good thing about it is he's moving his head before he throws it, or he's leading on the left hook before he throws it.
Vargas is cut.
So Vargas goes to his corner with a cut outside his left eye. And we quickly go into the dressing rooms to show you Tim Bradley warming up with his dad, who is Timothy Bradley Sr., but counterintuitively is called Big Ray. And as Bradley moves to warm up with Big Ray, here is Ruslan Provodnikov with Freddie Roach watching in the background, warming up in his dressing room. Provodnikov is a rock, but he may be too stationary a rock to have a chance to really bother Bradley on the scorecards tonight.
I need you to keep putting hands on it. You understand me? But don't get wild. Don't get wild. Work behind the jab.
Where's the mouthpiece? Okay.
Sit back, please.
Power punches in the third round counted by CompuBox. Vargas 1 of 6. That was a jab round for him. Omotoso 6 of 16. The 10-4 overall landed punch advantage for Omotoso, and of course Vargas had blood on his left eye when he went back to his corner. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I get a 3-0, 30-26 Wale Lucky Boy Omotoso. You know, Jim, Dick Tiger was the greatest Nigerian fighter that ever lived. He was a great left hooker. Wale Omotoso is a great right-hand puncher. He ain't a left hooker. He's walking him down, getting off first, landing strong right hands, doing more damage, and that's the key to the fight. Wale Omotoso's backing him up, and Jessie Vargas is fighting off the back foot. 3-0, Omotoso.
After throwing more than 60 punches in each of the first 2 rounds, Vargas in the last round and now in this one looks a little bit more reluctant to throw, particularly with the right hand.
Well, I think he's trying to establish his jab now, Jim. He knows to win this fight, he can't go out there and win it in a slugfest, so he may as well establish his jab and try to win it boxing. Oh, good hook.
I was trying to find an answer for that.
Step out, Jess.
Lucky boy right hand.
Oh, good shot by Vargas.
1-2, right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Hey, stop. Keep off the back of his head.
Minute to go in the 4th. This is Vargas' best round so far. The one which most approximate the style in which he would like to fight.
Now that Vargas is establishing a little rhythm, see if he,
Hard right hand by Omotoso.
See if he starts.
Vargas comes back with a body shot and a hard right hand of his own upstairs.
Be 3 punches together instead of just those 1-2s and 1s.
Crowd responds to a good left hook by Vargas. Now Omotoso, body shot, uppercut, right hand across the top. Missing wildly, Lucky boy in that exchange.
Let him go, come on, Wally, let him out of there.
And that's what his coach asked him not to do, was to
Free
get
up your
wild.
hands and fight out of
But
it,
Vargas
fellas.
is smart, he's trying to force him to get wild right now.
All right, stop. Hands on the ropes, ready? Box. Stop at the bell. Hey.
Possible momentum shift in favor of Vargas. There's Mikey Garcia, seated at ringside tonight. His brother Robert Garcia, trainer of the year last year, is also here. Gennady Golovkin, rising star of the middleweight division. Tremendous fan following now. His trainer Abel Sanchez watching from over the shoulder of the young lady to his left. There's Zhu Ximing, 2-time Olympic gold medalist from China, who headlines the April 6th card that you'll be seeing on HBO 2 from Macau. And Brian Valoria, the Hawaiian Punch, will also be in Macau for the HBO 2 card, on which, incidentally, you'll hear the commentary of Larry Merchant, Tim Ryan, and Big George Foreman.
Hall of Fame lineup.
Johnny Box numbers in the 4th round. Vargas was 18 of 53. Omotoso 11 of 44. Vargas had a power punch advantage, 11 to 8.
Hold up.
And it looks as though cutman Mike Afanasiev in Vargas's corner has done a good job with whatever the scratch or cut or indentation was outside his left eye after round number 2.
Got to give Vargas a lot of credit for that last round. Faced with a bigger, stronger fighter who was giving him the business for the first couple of rounds. Vargas, not a puncher, dug in and started giving the business right back, and especially late in that round.
And fought very smartly.
Yeah, kept his composure and showed a lot of fire.
If he can fight that way for an extended period of rounds, he might get back level on the scorecards and turn the fight around in his favor. But he's not there so far because he left himself a little bit of a mountain to climb in those first 3 rounds.
Can't tell about the scoring. The first round, I don't know if it was definitive Lucky Boy round.
Could have gone either way.
Yep.
And fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, not 12. So stamina a little bit less of a factor than would be the case in a 12-round fight. And more urgency urgency about the scoring. Good right hand by Vargas.
Yeah, it was.
Lucky Boys people felt that Vargas couldn't hurt him, but I think he buzzed him right there, Roy.
He did, but Lucky Boy right. Good
huge
shot.
right hand by Vargas.
That really hurt him.
Lucky Boy right on the top.
Well, that really
Lucky
hurt
Boy
him.
almost went down. Trying to maintain his balance. Vargas looks for another big one.
Stop. Wait. Box.
Vargas didn't show up to win a decision today.
No, he didn't. He showed up to win.
Leads with the right hand and lands it. Lucky Boy may need to take the knee just to stop all the punishment at this point.
Oh, good shot.
Right back.
Brilliant comeback by Vargas in this round, but he can't quite get Lucky Boy off his feet.
A lot of time left, too.
And Jack Reese is looking in closely here. And as you said, Jim, Lucky Boy didn't know about taking a knee.
Let him go.
He's not going to take a knee. In the streets where he's from, they couldn't take a knee.
Let's go. No.
He's from a fight or die colony. He's not going to take a knee.
He threw just enough back to stop Reese from stopping it just then.
And he got in a right hand of his own, which also helped to buy him more time. Good job by Lucky Boy leaning all over Vargas there and muffling his punches.
Vargas has to be careful not to punch himself out.
What a round.
Those two just showed a lot of stuff.
Road to Rios Alvarado 2 premieres immediately following the fight tonight. Remember, they're back in the ring on March 30 to be facing each other. And that'll be the rematch of one of last year's greatest fights, won by Rios on a 6th round TKO.
Volley of punches. Anything that happened was from volley of punches.
But he got hit in the back of the head. Okay. Okay. All right, let's stay there. All right. Yeah. Okay, look at me. Lucky Boy. Keep your focus. Don't get wild. You understand me?
PC Vargas roll and come right up with an overhand right on the button. That shot really hurt Wale Omotoso. Great punch. Right up under the left hook and right over the top with the right hand again. Boom. Right on the chin. You couldn't ask for a much cleaner punch, followed by a good short uppercut and a jab.
And Vargas talked about working on his power shots. You saw him put the entire shoulder and roll the back into that right hand. He wound up landing 29 out of 71 punches in that round. Omotoso only 6 out of 41, and you see that Harold Letterman on his unofficial scorecard called it a 10-8 round despite the absence of a knockdown of Omotoso.
I agree with Harold.
Yeah, I do too. And what you have to hope is that Vargas didn't punch himself out, because as you see, Omotoso still has a lot left in the tank.
Your hands are free. Fight out. Right, stop.
For a guy who appears wild at times,
box.
Omotoso is wily. The way he's able to get the right hands in, smother Vargas' attack as Vargas looked like he was on the verge of stopping him. Throw back just enough to stop the stoppage.
Yeah, he showed some ring smarts in the last minute of that round.
Indeed.
To help himself survive.
And a big heart.
They both shown that so far.
Vargas, you see, he tries to establish a rhythm where he can see what shots he lands, and then he throws them for real. And he used that to great effect in the last round.
We're already past the midway point of the fight. There have been desperate moments for both fighters already.
And this has turned out to be just as good of a fight as we expected it to be.
Maybe better. Vargas beating Omotoso to the punch there.
Yeah, but Vargas has to really be careful with that jab, because Lucky Boy is still trying to get Lucky right over the top of that jab.
Oh, did he throw a home run shot about 30 seconds ago?
6 has been a little bit of a resting round. Can somebody steal it in the closing seconds? Hard to score. On April 13, Nonito Donaire and Guillermo Rigondeaux meet in a battle between the world's premier 122-pound fighters live from Radio City Music Hall in New York City. 2 weeks later, on April 27, from Argentina, hometown hero Sergio Martinez comes back to Buenos Aires to defend his middleweight crown against undefeated Englishman Martin Murray, and Carlos Abregu faces Antonin Becari. Also that night, a heavyweight battle in Ontario, California, between Chris Ariola and Bermani Stiverne.
Catch that motherfucker counter. Catch it and counter. You can catch it with your left, or you can counter with a right hand off of it, okay? When you feel it touch your glove, then you go. You understand? Now, let's go. Okay, now listen.
CompuBox numbers through the 6th round. Vargas has landed 112 out of 306. Omotoso only 67 of 264. So Vargas has a large edge in the number of punches landed. But this fight has been about the quality of the punches. They both landed the same number of punches, or virtually the same number. Vargas 9, Omotoso 8 in the 6th round. Forced to choose a winner, Harold scored the round for Omotoso.
They were both trying to set up big shots in the last round, and the openings never appeared because no one was taking real chances to open up the other guy.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 4 rounds to 2, 57, 55, Wale Omotoso. You know, Jim, for Jessie Vargas was really doing well in the 4th and 5th round. Like you said, I get in the 5th round, 10 to 8, because he had Omotoso out on his feet. But in the 6th round, he took off. I mean, he was ready to tie the fight up. He was ready to take charge of the fight, and he didn't do a darn thing in the 6th round. Wale Omotoso landed some nice hands to win a very, very close round, round 6. 4-2, Omotoso.
Jessie Vargas has made one adjustment in the fight, which is to stop Omotoso's on-rushing left hook leads with a straight right hand counter, and it has worked perfectly for him on recent occasions.
And he's also been blocking the straight right of Omotoso with his jab.
And his ability to beat Omotoso to the punch had Eric Brown in the corner calling for a catch and counter strategy for Lucky Boy. He didn't want Lucky Boy punching until he caught Vargas's punch with his own glove. Because when they punch at the same time, Vargas is getting there first and actually doing damage.
Good jab by Vargas.
Scoring punches. Trouble with the catch and counter strategy, Max Kellerman, is that it makes Vargas even more the busier fighter.
That's right.
And he was already the busier fighter. Now there's Omotoso landing a left hook upstairs.
Looks like Vargas has done a good job taking Omotoso's right hand away, and that's Omotoso's
biggest weapon.
That's right, as Harold pointed out.
That was a good try by Omotoso.
Fellas.
All right, let's get busy now. Let's get busy, all right? Let's get busy, all right? You're slowing down a little too much. Let him slow you down to his pace. Don't do it, all right? You dictate the pace. You understand me? You get me back behind that jab and them combinations, all right? Cut the ring off. Don't keep following him in a circle. Cut the ring off, break off either hand, all right? Somebody look at that right hand, left hook, all right? Listen, you're hurting this kid, but you got to keep the pressure on this guy. You understand me? I know. Listen. You got to put pressure on this guy.
Okay. Ritmo de manos. Pum, pum, pum. Fuera y de afuera y de afuera. Okay?
Mr. Vargas, great. Wale, number 8.
Jack Reese notifying both fighters that the 8th round has arrived. Jessie Vargas, the busier of the two fighters, trying to make his punch count stick against Wale Omotoso, who hits harder. Two unbeaten welterweights. Vargas, at 23 years old, entered with a record of 21-0. Omotoso, who is 27 years old, is 23-0.
Lucky Boy's manager said about this fight, make the guy with the BBs, meaning Vargas, stand and fight the guy with the howitzers. But the guy isn't throwing BBs tonight, it doesn't look like.
Nah, he was a little slicker, and he brought some bigger bombs to the fight tonight.
Meantime, standing around posing isn't going to help Lucky Boy land too many right hands, and he doesn't have that much longer to get those right hands across.
No, and that was a good right hand by Vargas then, too.
Every time Omotoso gets gripped by a good right hand,
another
he
good
shuffles
right
his
hand.
feet. Vargas showing a lot of confidence right now and landing his shots flush. And he takes a right hand in return. It's the first time in several rounds that Omotoso's been able to hit him with that chopping right hand over the top.
And that was a good body shot by Vargas, too.
He had a good rally there, and the grin on his face was well-deserved.
Seems as though Vargas has seen what Lucky Boy's had, one bad, but he doesn't feel it's good enough.
That jab right there is causing a lot of problems for Wale.
This particular pace, Vargas has big advantages. Omotoso needs the fight to go back the way it was in the first 3 rounds.
You got to make it a rough fight.
I think that's what the slap on the sneaker was about, on his shoe. He's trying to get loose somehow.
Nah, that's some Roy Jones footage.
But that's Roy Jones getting loose. He's trying to get himself started somehow. And Vargas has done, it means Vargas has done a very good job neutralizing him.
Yes, he has done a very good job of slowing
Stop,
it down.
nobody punch.
Wait a
Let
minute
each other
now.
out.
He slapped his shoe, and you called that Roy Jones footage? No pun intended, I assume.
Oh, good shot.
Good left hook and a right hand by Omotoso.
Stop. Let each
Vargas
other
got
out.
just a little careless there. After what had been a pretty good round. Make sure you stay tuned following live boxing for the premiere of Road to Rio's Alvarado 2. Don't forget, those two warriors meet in the ring again on March 30 in a reprise of what was last year a tremendous candidate for Fight of the Year. Timothy Bradley is unbeaten, just as are the two fighters you're looking at in the ring. Has fought twice since January 29, 2011, once against Joel Casamayor, and then, of course, the fight with Manny Pacquiao, which was what he was chasing during those 777 days. CompuBox numbers in the 8th
Don't
round.
fuck around.
Vargas was
Get busy and put them
13 out of
hands on the
37.
guy. And don't
Omotoso
stand
8
back
out of
looking at him.
45. That was not a big punch output round
Don't stand
for
back
either
looking-
guy.
Don't stand back looking at him.
Now,
Number 9.
Eric Brown is asking Omotoso to step up the pace again. He said, don't stand back looking at him.
Hold on. Box.
Ninth round of the scheduled 10. We are at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. The first of our two fights on HBO's World Championship Boxing. Wale Omotoso, called Lucky Boy, in the silver trunks, and in the beige trunks, Jessie Vargas.
Lucky Boy's got to see if he can make this fight take another twist, another turn. Early on, it looked like maybe he was too big and strong for Vargas. Then Vargas came perilously close to stopping Lucky Boy, and since then has seemed to control the fight. Lucky Boy's got to see if he can twist it one more time.
He just landed a good right hand over the top of Vargas's jab. that was his key to success early in the fight.
He started to get a little closer with that at the end of the last round.
But I tell you, Vargas is really using that jab good.
Lucky Boy flashing a right uppercut there. He tried it earlier from too great a distance. That time, Vargas conspired with him to help it land by moving in. There's a little chill in the air outdoors here at the Home Depot Center. Should help the two fighters maintain their stamina as they go through the 9th here and into the 10th. At the beginning of the fight, we mentioned that Omotoso overnight had rehydrated from 146.5 up to 164 pounds. He entered the ring with a 10-pound functional weight advantage over Vargas, who unofficially weighs 154. And just as you might have expected, Omotoso has been stronger, but Vargas has been quicker.
Box.
And I think that would have been the same difference whether the weight gain was different or not.
Correct. I think you're exactly right, Roy.
This is why Vargas was a little bit of a favorite. A little sharper.
A little bit purer boxer.
A little classier boxer, as they say.
And you have to give Vargas a little bit of credit because not often did you find a guy that's that much of a classy type fighter to gain power when he wants to gain power. He said he got stronger with his punches, and he really showed that he got stronger.
With a small knockout percentage, throwing real shots here.
The last several rounds might have been seen as advantage Vargas, but on Harold Letterman's scorecard, he has to win the last 2 rounds to get a draw if the fight goes the distance.
But Harold Letterman is not an official scorer.
That is correct. There's Mickey Rourke at ringside. The wrestler, not here to wrestle tonight. Mickey, a former amateur boxer, and then had a few pro fights, and used to spar and train with Freddie Roach. So he's here in support of his good buddy.
This is the last round. Hey, listen to me. You gotta go now. You gotta put this boy on his ass. Again. Do you understand me? I'm not playing with you. You cannot stand around looking at him no more. This is the last round.
Jesse, es el último round, ¿ok? Por todos lados, tócalo, tócalo, ¿ok?
There was one knockdown in the fight. Vargas' knee touched the canvas on the second round. It's the only time he's ever been down as a pro. In the third round, he got a small cut above his left eye. His cut man, Mike Afanasiev, has done a marvelous job of stopping the cut. We've seen no blood since round number 3. CompuBox numbers favor Vargas coming to the 10th. Harold, how do you have it on your scorecard?
Look at you. I've got it 5 rounds to 4. 85-84, Wale Omotoso. You know, this is a very, very close fight as I see it. The knockdown in round 2 certainly was evened up by Jessie Vargas in round 5 when he almost had Omotoso out, and I gave him an extra point for winning that round real big. So, you know, like you said, real big. Jessie Vargas coming on. I thought he won round 6 and round 8. Round 7 and round 9. And, you know, it's real close to this point. I think this round is going to determine who won.
There are a lot of options for the official scorers. The only thing that is fixed in granite, more or less, is the extra point for Omotoso as the result of the knockdown in round 2.
Well, if you want to fix something in granite, you can score a knockout. So far, both fighters have shown a lot of admirable qualities. Let's see if one wants to really break out here in the next minute 30 or so.
Moments ago, Lucky Boy threw a sweeping right hand, which was aimed at being the home run punch, but he missed.
He landed a pretty right uppercut off of Vargas' jab just now. That was impressive.
Stop.
It was a minute 50. Now it's a minute 30.
I told you, do not do that.
Half a round left.
Box, don't do that again.
Heard Eric Brown exhorting Lucky Boy in the corner. Let's go, don't stand around.
No more standing and looking. But even here in the 10th, there have been moments when Lucky Boy's been hesitant.
Think about what that means. Lucky
Break,
Boy
step away
said
from each other.
at the top of our telecast.
Box.
Whatever's meant to be is meant to be as the bullets are flying. Here, Vargas has put enough doubt in his mind to stop him from coming forward and throwing caution to the wind. That takes some doing on Vargas's part.
Another good uppercut by Omotoso. Landed right on the button. He's had 2 of them here in the 10th round. Vargas's counterpunches are working well, but that eye-catching uppercut may make Omotoso the leader in the round with 30 seconds to go.
But Vargas is trying to even it up with that jab.
Right hand by Omotoso. Again, the uppercut by Omotoso, and now Vargas gets in a left and a right. Closing second. Good left hook by Vargas.
Time, that's it, fellas. Good
Interesting round. Some landed punches for both fighters. Not easy to score.
Interesting round and an interesting fight.
Very much so.
Very good fight.
Neither guy's reputation should slip much from a fight like this. It's one thing to lose in a boxing match that doesn't go your way. It's another thing to lose in something that is a little bit more of a war and which tests the spirit of both fighters.
Potentially a real learning experience for both guys.
Now let's take a look at the biggest moment in the fight. In the second round, after Omotoso had a good first round, he was punishing Vargas in the second round, and as they exchanged in the middle of the ring, a body shot by Omotoso, simultaneous to Vargas putting his right knee down on the canvas. Not necessarily the reason Vargas put his right knee down on the canvas, but that was officially a knockdown and an extra point for Wale Lucky Boy Omotoso. We asked you to text in and tell us who you think has won the fight, and 43% of you are saying you think Vargas, 57%, perhaps influenced by Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard, are picking Omotoso. Harold, how'd that scorecard turn out?
I got it a draw, Jim. I thought that Jessie Vargas clearly out-punched him, outworked him in round 10 to win it. I know Omotoso got in a few hard uppercuts, but basically it was Vargas doing more work. He was more aggressive, landed more good shots in the 10th round. You know, Jim, if the judges didn't give that extra point to what's his name, to
Vargas.
Vargas, yeah, in round 5, you know, and a lot of them probably didn't, then Omotoso's going to win a fight.
But you know what, Harold? Normally I don't like draws. A draw would not be dissatisfying here. Both fighters showed courage.
If there's a draw, it's because boxing has a quirky way of scoring.
Harold, who are the official judges?
Okay, Jim. Gwen Adair, we remember her from MASH when she was on, you know, the opening of MASH. She was an actress. She had Peter Quillen over Winky Wright, 98-91 for Peter Quillen. Jonathan Davis, he originally comes from the Philippines. He now lives in Anaheim, California. We saw him on HBO, Keith Thurman over Carlos Quintana. And you see worked Donito Donaire over Jeffrey Mathebuli. Had a 117, 110 for Donaire. Fritz Warner been judging forever. He's a retired colonel from the Marines. He's been judging since 1985. He did a good job at Timothy Bradley over Lamont Peterson, even though he had it the widest.
Let's go to Lupe Contreras and see how they scored it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 10 rounds, we consult the official scorecard to determine a winner. Judges Davis and Werner score the bout identically at 96-93. And Judge Adair scores it 97-92. All three in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. And now, the WBC Continental America's welterweight champion, from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jessie Vargas.
A big win for Vargas. 97-92, I'm not sure about. But the bottom line was it was a close fight which could have gone either way, and it goes Vargas's way. And by the way, the best way to win a fight in this current era is throw more punches and land more punches, and that's what Vargas did. As you can see, he outlanded Omotoso 165-103 by CompuBox count. He threw 57 more punches, 486 to 429 by CompuBox count, and landed at the significantly higher connect percentage. So that's what won Jessie Vargas the fight, his greater offensive output in terms of numbers. Let's take a look at power punch statistics, and even there, Vargas landing more, even though Omotoso threw more. The connect percentage of 41% for Vargas is good, and good enough to win him the fight. Quickly, the punch stone graphic, which will show you where the punches landed on each of the two fighters. Omotoso landing his 103 punches on Vargas, 75 of them upstairs. More body punching from Vargas. 32 body shots landed by Vargas on Omotoso, and 133 punches upstairs. The greater numbers, once again, carrying Vargas to victory in the fight. Night has fallen here at the outdoor tennis stadium at the Home Depot Center in Carson after another picture-perfect day in Southern California. Still to come in our main event, Palm Springs, Timothy Bradley looks to run his record to a perfect 30-0 as he makes the first defense of the welterweight title he wrestled away from Manny Pacquiao last June. Tonight he faces unheralded Russian Ruslan Provodnikov. Provodnikov's most valuable ring experience to date came as Manny Pacquiao's sparring partner, and tonight he seeks a career-defining victory against one of the top fighters in the welterweight division. Bradley Provodnikov is next, but first let's take a look at what lies ahead on the HBO boxing calendar this spring.